The moment I found out I was pregnant felt surreal. My body went cold as the reality of the news crashed over me like a tidal wave, leaving me gasping for breath, drowning in fear and uncertainty. Stefan had been in another country during the assault, and now I was left with a life-altering decision, one that hung over me like a dark cloud, suffocating and relentless, pressing heavily in my chest. When I looked into the mirror, I didn't recognize the woman staring back. Her eyes, filled with confusion and fear, reflected the turmoil swirling within me, as if I were staring at a ghost of my former self. After the initial shock wore off, I thought about the attacker, my stomach churning at the horrifying possibility that this baby could be his, a stark reminder of my trauma that I couldn't escape. We sat across from each other, in the dim light of our favorite cafe, the aroma of coffee mixing with the palpable tension in the air as I struggled to find the right words to say, each second stretching into eternity. Stefan's face was tight, his voice clipped, as he told me we needed to think through our options. Each word felt like a dagger, slicing through the fragile hope I was desperately trying to cling to. His suggestion of abortion felt like a lifeline, yet it was intertwined with thoughts of my mother and her unwavering Catholic beliefs, the guilt flooding in like a tidal wave, threatening to drown me in shame. When I confided in my mother, her reaction was immediate and harsh. Her words cut through me like glass, declaring abortion a grave sin, and I felt my heart shatter under the weight of her judgment. The conflict within me deepened, torn between my faith and the trauma that had invaded my life in the darkest of ways, leaving me feeling like a puppet caught between two strings, one of love and one of guilt. Stefan's ultimatum felt like a knife twisting in my gut. Keep the baby and lose him, or end the pregnancy and preserve our future. The choice was suffocating, each option a betrayal of something I held dear. I watched the way he struggled with his own emotions, a mix of love and fear reflected in his eyes, making it all the more painful as I realized how much we were both losing in this battle. The day I finally made the decision, a part of me felt liberated, but another part felt like I was betraying my own body, my own soul, as if I were casting away a piece of myself I could never reclaim. After our breakup, I sat alone in my room, the silence deafening, a void where laughter used to echo, and I could only hear the haunting remnants of our last conversation replaying in my mind. His call came unexpectedly, and my heart raced as I picked up, my voice trembling as I begged him to understand my turmoil, each word laced with desperation and longing for his support. I told him about my mother's pressure, her judgment wrapping around me like a suffocating blanket. In that moment, I felt so isolated, like a ship lost at sea without a lighthouse to guide me home. When I finally chose to go through with the abortion, it felt like I was breaking free from a prison I hadn't realized I was in, a release that echoed deep within my bones. The relief washed over me like a balm, but it came at a steep price. My mother disowned me, her final words echoing in my mind like a curse, leaving me feeling unmoored and adrift. Stefan's support became my lifeline, and as we reconnected, I realized how much I had missed him, how much I needed him to anchor me in this storm of chaos. But then, my mother reported me to the police, and suddenly, the world cracked open with fear and confusion, leaving me feeling exposed and vulnerable, like a deer caught in headlights. The officers' visit was a nightmare, their questions probing and cold, making me feel like a criminal instead of a victim. I could see pity in their eyes, but it felt more like judgment than empathy. Stefan held me tightly afterward, his strength grounding me, as we pieced together the manipulation that had pulled us apart, each revelation cutting deeper into our shared pain. The confrontation with my mother was inevitable. I could see the fury in her eyes, a storm brewing as she threatened me with damnation, her words laced with venom and betrayal. Yet, there was a flicker of resolve within me, a growing understanding that I was no longer the scared girl she used to control. I had survived too much to let her define my worth any longer. After the abortion, I felt lighter, like the weight of the world had been lifted from my shoulders. I couldn't help but smile, a bittersweet victory coursing through me in the aftermath of loss. Stefan and I took a week off work, seeking refuge in the woods, where nature embraced us as we began to heal. The stillness allowing us to reconnect in a way we hadn't in months. The rain fell softly around us, but inside I felt a warmth I hadn't experienced in months, the promise of hope flickering like a candle in the darkness of my despair. Our laughter echoed through the trees, and for the first time in a long while, I felt like I could breathe again, each breath a reminder that I was still alive, still fighting. When my mother called to confirm the abortion, I could hear the rage in her voice, but I stood firm, refusing to be intimidated, my heart pounding with the weight of my decision. As I ended the call with a calm retort, a sense of power surged through me, reminding me that I had a choice in my life, that I was the author of my own story. This journey has been a tumultuous ride, but with each passing day, I recognize the strength that lies within us both, a resilience forged in the fires of pain and love. Stefan has shown me what true love looks like, not just in moments of joy, but in the depths of pain and resilience, his unwavering support a balm to my wounded heart. I can no longer allow my mother's voice to dictate my worth. I am writing my own story, and for that I am grateful, each word a testament to my survival. Together, we are moving forward, building a future that is ours, and I can finally say that I feel free, liberated from the shackles of guilt and shame. Thank you for listening to our story. It's a reminder that love can be complicated, but it can also heal, and in that healing I have found myself again. Thank you for watching. For more real stories and powerful dramas, be sure to like, subscribe, and explore our I Wove You Too channel. If you enjoyed this video, please consider supporting us in transforming your love life with the Make Him Worship You program, linked in the description. It's a game changer for any woman seeking the love she truly deserves.